As always with many Hollywood celebrities within the film industry, they just don't seem to get the memo here when it comes to forcing your politics onto your own fan base and dividing your fans, and how it not only backfires on your career, it also backfires on how people perceive you. And the same exact thing is actually happening right now with Charlize Theron. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. Now, we know that Charlize has been very insufferable as of late. We know that she's been like this for a very long time, really pressuring and forcing trans rights onto the general public, but now it's really beginning to go to a different height, a different level that we have never seen before, and it really just goes to show you how many of these Hollywood celebrities are becoming more unhinged over time. We've seen this happen most recently with Michael Shannon. We've seen this happen with Tom Hanks, George Clooney, Julia Roberts, Alec Baldwin. I mean, across the board, many celebrities are just not caring anymore, and they are just going all out with their beliefs and really not caring about the ramifications of the consequences. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, is that we already know that Charlize Theron is really just pushing and forcing all of these LGBTQ and trans rights and agendas onto the general public, onto her own fans even, and I'm beginning to wonder exactly whether or not this is going to really deeply and negatively impact her upcoming films that she's actually currently working on as we speak. Now, what's interesting about this is that with Charlize Theron, yet again, another celebrity getting overly political during the Trump presidency, especially after the big, beautiful bill passed, already she decided to go on yet another long-winded rant about politics and how she decided to force her agenda onto the public, even with her own fans, and said the most offensive thing in her career. Now, Charlize recently delivered the following. As a proud woman who never takes no for an answer, I must say that we are living in a very dark time right now, especially after the big ugly bill passed under this terrible human being that we know as Donald Trump, that likes to call himself a president. But what I will not stand for are those trying to abolish trans rights. As a mother of a trans child, I urge every mother out there to support their children, to decide what gender they want to be, and to let those emotions go unnoticed. And to not let those emotions go unnoticed. If you ignore such emotions, you are disrespectful as a parent, and you should be ashamed. It's presidents like Trump that want to end trans rights and the importance of LGBTQ, not just in our everyday lives, but also in the film industry. It has become very clear now that we as parents are now in danger under this man's control at the White House, and what he is set to do to our families, whether they are trans, bi, or anything related to the wonderful LGBTQ movement, I think every family out there should really invest in their kids' thoughts on what gender they want to be, even if they aren't showing signs of confusion. It's best as mothers that we question ourselves. Am I doing the right thing? This is a question that we must always ask our children at any age. What gender do you want to be? How are you feeling right now? It's something that should not go unnoticed, so I urge all mothers out there, and fathers even out there, to really turn to their children right now and ask them, are you happy as a boy or a girl, or a girl, as a man or a woman? If the answer is no, it's time to really reconsider how they actually view themselves. Mr. Trump is a terrible human being for only allowing two genders to be recognized in organizations, corporations, businesses, and even in the film industry, our beloved film industry. This is why the art of cinema is dead and having a difficult time coming back to where it was almost 1 year ago. It's because of this man who has a terrible agenda against trans rights and parents asking their kids if they are happy as a boy or a girl. Now guys, let me stop right there. Now, Charlize is going completely crazy here, and look, she's always kinda been totally off. If you really go back throughout the couple of years, she's always been quite off. When you look at her in various interviews, when you look at her in various interactions, in the early days, you know, I thought that she was completely fine and normal, but over time, she's slowly devolved into what she is right now in 2025, and I think it's going to negatively impact her career. It may not happen overnight, but I think a lot of people are going to begin to catch on to this when it comes down to Charlize and how she's really just pushing all this nonsense onto the general public, onto families out there about trans rights, LGBTQ this, DEI that. People are so exhausted and tired of it all, they just don't want to hear about it from celebrities anymore. And that's why they're moving on to other personalities. But what's interesting about this is that, yet again, Charlize Theron is just going completely unhinged. She doesn't care about what she's saying anymore, and she gets into that in just a second. This is where it really gets crazy. So, I have many close ones, she says, to me that said and urged me, maybe it's not the right move to come out and say all of this. You will lose support. You will lose fans. Well, if I'm losing fans over what I'm saying here, over my beliefs, then they aren't my fans to begin with. So get lost. It's about time that we change the world, and we change it fast, in order to support LGBTQ and trans rights and everything else to do with diversity that is now long forgotten because of this man Donald Trump, who will go down as the worst human being to serve as president. Now guys, before I move on yet again, let me just say this once more. Nobody cares about Charlize Theron and what she has to say about her politics, about her views of activism, and her agenda, right? Nobody cares about any of that nonsense. But this is most certainly going to, get rid of any support that she actually had going in 2025. A lot of fans are already fleeing a lot of celebrities and their movies that they're working on right now. People like Tom Hanks, he lost a ton of support, a ton of fans after what he did on SNL. Robert De Niro, same exact thing. A lot of support was lost after he went on the multiple Trump rants, and how he continues to do that to this very day. He's losing support at a rapid rate. And I can go on and on about the dozens of celebrities that keep doing the same, repeated nonsense. So, moving onward, she goes on to close. All parents, I ask you to ask your children if they are happy with what gender they are right now, no matter what age they are at, because we are living in a sad, crucial time right now in 2025. The fact that she is pressuring families to ask their kids about about whether or not they're happy as a male or a woman or as a boy or a girl at any age, it's ludicrous. It's not only offensive to families out there, it's offensive to her fan base. And look, of course you're gonna have the minority of fans of hers that are gonna be like, you go Charlize, you're the best there is. And that's just gonna be how it rolls, right? But she is most certainly gonna lose a lot of support of the normal people, alright? The people that are just for common sense, that once believed in her roles, believed in her actual movie roles out there, and they're gonna flee. They're gonna just say, I'm gonna call it quits now, move on to somebody else to support. But again, Charlize Theron, again, going unhinged. She did this a couple of days ago. She's doing it again. And it sounds like she's getting worse than people like Julia Roberts or Robert De Niro at this point, because this is just utterly insane. And it goes to show you that once the big beautiful bill passed, whether you guys support that or not, that's fine. But it most certainly actually brought a lot of these celebrities into the public eye, spewing such nonsense like this, when in reality they should just stay in their lane, do their job, and act and stay out of politics. They're not political commentators, they're actors, and that's what they should stay as. So, I would love to hear what everyone has to say about all of this below in the comments, anything ranging from Charlize Theron to her overall views here and how she's forcing it onto the public. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I'll catch you guys later.